So who all do we have on so far?
I'm here. Is it just me and you?
I think so.
Did I get bonus stars for being early?
Sure. I think you're on time, and I was late, but I'll give you bonus points.
Well, I got worried. I was like, did we cancel? Let me check the phone.
I mean, I think you guys can hang with just a druid and no cleric. Should be totally fine with that.
Hey, I am healed up. I'm ready to go. I don't know what they've been doing. They're just
You left the party, and lo and behold,
if he needs it.
by leaving the party, you survived.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how our party works, though. They're a disaster train running.
So let me run over to the Facey book.
I was hurt that, as Esme pointed out, Joss must be nearby because she's Kip's kryptonite. He's rolling like drunk, so it must be Joss's fault. I'm like, out him.
Lo and behold, you become one guy's kryptonite, and you get blamed for all his failings now.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. He must find out, he did roll poorly, even without me there.
And let's be honest, some of Joss's biggest, hardships that have happened to her, probably because he's involved. I'm just saying.
Probably true.
As I, of course, am opening up my Amazon Day box full of the useless things I purchased because Amazon pressured me into it.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yes,
we can
yes.
hear you.
Okay. I've been here, I don't know what happened.
You were being clandestine?
No, it just wasn't listening to me.
I was getting kind of worried. I was like, uh-oh, are we the only ones here? And I was late, so...
It's just the two of us. Three of us.
Well, my internet is being awesome so far, so I'm just letting you know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Well,
I've been trying to open a browser.
You haven't gone Dr. Roboto once.
Well, y'all are real staticky, and I don't know why. I only have the very low bar on my Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on. So I apologize if it doesn't.
See, I don't trust Wi-Fi, so even though I'm on the laptop, I'm hardwired because I basically just stole my office desk's hard line.
That's on the other side of the house.
That's too far.
Yeah. And I have a computer in the kitchen, but it's kind of small screen, and I couldn't see y'all and roll 20 at the same time.
Aw. So are you saying I need to get a shirt on and turn on my camera?
I mean, you don't have to get dressed on my behalf. I am okay however anyone wants to show up.
Hubba.
I can't even see you, Jim. I can see your icon.
That's because my camera's turned off right now.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Tortoises? I don't know why. I brought them inside because, it's been 120 degrees outside.
Beyond tortoise weather.
Today they've got the zoomies. And they've been
big one?
flipping over all day. No, they're still smaller than the palm of your hand.
Aww.
But they've got little tortoise zoomies and they've been flipping over and they're every 10 minutes they've been on their backs, one of them.
That's cute.
Turtle zoomies, that's adorable.
They do. They're pain. But yeah, I brought them inside and then it rained today and I was like, well, I just will keep them in here.
But they're adorable.
Well, they're in you know, the boxes that all the paper reams come in?
Mm-hmm.
I just have them in like a paper ream box because I don't have an inside thing for them.
You're like, this is all you guys get.
It's like a loft size equivalent because they're like 2 inches. It's still big.
Yeah, they're wee little bairns.
But through the side of the box, so there's a hole in it now.
Sounds about right.
Because they're turtles. With those beaks, they can chew through anything.
Well, I think they still have their egg tooth still. So they've got that little can opener beak.
Oh.
I'm totally going to see if my TINS unit will make noise on the headphones. And if it does, I will totally turn it off.
Oh, zapping yourself just for us.
My shoulder's all jacked up.
Mine never healed correctly. I'm supposed to technically have surgery, I think.
See, that's kind of what terrifies me about mine. Because about when you hurt yours with that under the shoulder blade thing, I kind of had something similar from fireworks.
Oh.
And I'm sort of terrified that that might be the same kind of thing that I refuse to admit it's that bad.
So I still got motion back, but I can't lift weight up. So like I can bring it like waist high, but I can't like lift weights above my waist, which is how I dropped my computer.
Yeah, so you see, I understand that because on fireworks, it was lifting a rack up like this and then throwing it into a rider truck.
Yep.
And that's kind of what started it, and it just never went away, and then progressively got worse when I stress out.
Oh, see, I decided I could raise a child in the swimming pool, and that's how I hurt mine.
See, look at you being all noble and shit, and, you know, saving a small child. I'm just like, I blew some shit up and wanted to get home quick.
Didn't you say you were racing a child?
Yep, racing.
That's noble.
Well, you do 2 whole strokes and you let him win.
What? You don't know
like,
Brittany that well.
Getting your hair wet.
They have nothing to strive for if you let them win.
Brittany's gonna go all alpha dog on him.
You don't know how to do the pretty swim.
Brittany's gonna say, "You better bring it, kid."
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I'm like, you beat me. Dang, let me go sit down in shame on the chair and drink my drink and read my book. Darn.
No. That's not how this works.
Mm-mm.
That's how it works at my house.
That was at my apartment where my neighbor got murdered. Like 2 houses ago.
I was going to say, have you moved since the last time I knew you moved?
Just to where my dad was. I ended up buying that townhouse.
Okay, yeah, that was the last move I remember.
Yeah. Well, because you guys helped move my dad in, and then I moved in after he passed. So, because they gave me a screaming deal in the townhouse because someone died in it. So, you know.
They're like, hey, Brittany, you like ghosts, right?
Well, he's like, the owner was like, well, he bought it on foreclosure, so he got it for like $35,000.
Oh, so it was pure profit for him.
Yeah, so he's like, oh, that way I can keep it in the family and, sometime it by.
Did y'all see AJ just messaged and said he's not going to be able to come tonight?
Oh, no, I did not.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to tell him he's dead to us. Literally, he died in the battle.
Yep.
So Twigsy managed to escape because she's a plant girl, and because of it, she managed to find Jocelyn wandering around in the woods, and everyone else but Bob is dead.
And can I say how upset the druid who can shapeshift into animals that she's seen did not see the unicorn?
Well, remember, the unicorn is a sentient creature.
Well, does that mean I can't turn into one? I'm sentient?
But it's got to be an animal, so you can't turn into a unicorn. Oh, look. I'm like, where's my camera? Can I see my camera? In my Amazon Prime Day, I got big, long, collapsible straw. Don't know what we're going to use it for, but we got it.
I was going to buy an Instapot because I melted mine on the stove.
Oh.
But then I saw that my model is known to...
The melting was the least of the problems.
So I'm gonna call Instapot and be like, "Give me a new one. Look, it exploded."
Look.
A knife?
A knife.
Ooh.
Yes, I saw this really cheap travel kit, and I'm like, you know what? That's worth $10. Mainly because I'm doing fireworks in 2 weeks, and I need a new pocket knife.
Can we pack my dad into the fireworks? Did we talk about that?
I think we talked about that like last year.
Is that something we can still do?
Legally, you are not allowed to do that, I've discovered, because that's the way I'm going. Notice how I didn't say legally.
Really?
See, sadly,
he said to launch his ass into space, and I told my grandparents that, and they didn't talk to me for like 3 months. But then my uncle's like, no, that's really what he said.
And that's totally a thing that's doable. I mean,
it's like $20,000 though.
It's like rich people stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
so
how did he specify how far in space?
No. He just said launch my ass into space. So I'm like, fireworks, done.
Or we could totally get one of those big ass model rockets and just rig it to explode instead of return.
Can we do that? Can you do that? I would totally do that.
I mean, collectively we can do that, yeah.
I'm down. I think my grandparents want to be there, but I don't know. Can I stand this up?
I don't know. Is it your phone?
Yeah.
I don't like that because it sounded like your phone fell down a little while ago.
Well, it did. I don't know how to, because my cousins upgraded my that's the point of this whole story. My cousins upgraded my tower when I dropped it, but now it's like too advanced for my abilities, so I don't know how to use the sound on it because this menu pops up and there's like 12,000 options. Oof. Like I'm just plug my headphones in. So that way I can sell both.
Anything that makes life easier.
So I just nope out of Skype because I don't know how to use the computer.
That's okay.
What happened? Oh, that was my phone.
As I just got asked one of the best questions from one of my friends that I got into Star Wars. They're like, do you recommend Force and Destiny or Edge of Empire if you had to pick one core book? And I'm like,
for gaming?
For gaming, yeah. So to give you some some background on that, Force and Destiny is the Jedi of like Clone Wars, and Edge of Empire is all the scum and villains that we're used to in Star Wars. So it all, like I told him, it all comes down to: are you playing a Jedi? If yes, Force and Destiny. If not, Edge of Empire all the way. Because that's where you get to play all the scum. Yeah. I mean, come on. Bounty Hunters and Hired Guns are the best two in that book.
I was going to say, if you're just reading the books, Bounty Hunter Trilogy.
Ooh, that's actually a good novel series.
Mm-hmm. I was like, how is that not an option? The game books.
the actual RPG, which has the funny little dice, which are the best dice system I've ever experienced. Because it's narrative dice, and if you have not played the narrative dice, you should totally try it, because instead of a number to hit, it's symbols. So you have symbols for success, symbols for failure, symbols for advantage, and symbols for threat. So you can fail but have something good happen, and basically it's a economy that the player gets to pick how advantageous you rolled versus how you want to spend the points. So you can always split it up to give a friend a boost dice because you helped them out. You can make the bad guy fall prone, and if they're like on a vehicle, that's really bad because then they fall. Let's put it this way. A couple weeks ago, our group were fighting a bunch of mounted fighters in a fantasy setting that uses the same dice. They did not kill Cossack warriors. They actually pushed them off the horses till they died. I mean, and of course the group were like, this is too easy. I'm like, dude, Christopher Reeves, man. Christopher Reeves. Falling off horses is dangerous.
No. Sad.
It's a horrible analogy, but it's true. And since I've got fireworks coming up, I bought things like the neck air conditioner.
My grandma has. Is it like the fan on the cord?
Well, it's basically a cordless Bluetooth speaker and one of those little neck ACs you put around your neck.
Cute.
So it probably makes a horrible racket. But I picked up a couple different things to make sure it melt when I'm out there 3 days straight. Because in Tucson, we're going to have fireworks on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of July this year.
Your arms are disappearing because of your background.
I'm moving very quickly my power supply because my computer just told me I have 10% power and it's going to die.
Oh, more.
And you'll probably get like an extreme shoulder close-up. Now I'm looking for the opposite end. Will he charge in time? Your face has got... I made the power in time.
Is my camera's not on, is it?
I know.
I look like a lizard person today, so camera.
Today you've gone full lizard person.
Got bad skin today.
Well, you live in Arizona. I mean, it was just yesterday we had, 115-degree weather?
So gross.
Gross. And now today we're in the 80s with, 100% humidity out there.
All the humidity?
We got super lucky and got 5 minutes of rain today.
Oh.
But is it worth the humidity?
I do appreciate that it dropped the weather like 30 degrees. That was definitely appreciated.
Is that a scratch?
Is what, on your screen?
Yeah.
Oh, Brittany, I like your GIF reply. Nighty night. When the rogue doesn't make it to game night, you take a pillow to his face.
Mm-hmm.
So is there anything you guys want to talk about in the game? Any plots or plans? Since I think we're not going to have enough for a one-man adventures.
I mean, I just was going to set up that I'm going to pretty much what I've already talked to you about, that I'm not going to go the route of the Celestial Cleric, but try to go find the Raven Queen. Or, somehow go down that path.
Going down that dark, dark path.
So, I don't know. I can't meet up with the group because the group is there. So, yeah,
As Twigsy's totally thinking mushroom thoughts so the plant people don't eat her.
I am a mushroom. I can just turn into something minuscule and run away. I've seen ants.
I think you need to go with that bumblebee plant. Okay.
Totally go with the squirrel. Squirrel motif in the forest.
I have a pet squirrel. We can just run. I'll use. I don't know. That'd be bad if I used it as bait. But I was like, look, there's two of us.
See, I was going to say it's going to be like Sword in the Stone, the two squirrels.
Like that. I don't know. I just came along from a ride. Like, I was may grab me, so I have no purpose here. I just was like, oh, we're doing something new. Okay. Because that's what I'm about. Learning new things and meeting people. And now I'm in a murder family. I don't know how to...
They went so like dark so fast.
You might have jinxed us because every time you decide to talk to somebody and be friendly, they try to kill us.
I know. They're bad people. And you know who I didn't talk to? That family we murdered.
So if Twigsy doesn't get a chance to talk to him, pull the trigger.
They're good. They're good people.
Thing to say that were-rat tied up in that hut was a bad person. You guys just didn't want to take a chance on a were-rat.
The guy that was chained up?
Yeah, he was an innocent sex slave.
Remember they had that one guy chained up in the room at the...
I didn't kill him. That was Kip. I to find out the password to the rug.
Yeah. Yeah, instead,
I was like, no, tell me the password.
Was it you that poked the stick and then it grabbed?
Oh, well, Esme told me to poke. See, that's what happened. People were like, hey, Jess, can you do that? I got this.
That's right. She's not here to defend herself.
And then it grabbed me.
If Kip hadn't killed the guy, known the password, and none of that would have been a problem.
This is true.
And then we would have had a evil magic carpet.
On an evil magic carpet ride, a whole new world.
I still haven't forgot about going back and possibly getting a baby mimic.
I want a baby mimic so bad.
When we go back around.
Just keep feeding it. Baby mimic, yes. Baby mimic.
It's getting ready to bud.
Because I saw a mimic shield, and like it was talking about like if you raised it, you could have it as your shield, and I was like, oh yeah, I want it.
I'm like, there's some totally horrible mimic related homebrewed classes out there. You should definitely just image search baby mimic, and you get tons of cute little pictures that are absolutely horrifying.
I'm doing that right now. I like the pair of shoes. That one's one of my favorites.
I was reading something that talked about like how mimics like I guess reproduce or I guess spread their babies is that that their chest the babies look like gold coins. So people take them and go and scatter them everywhere, and then they find out that they're mimics later on.
Oh, I was like, God.
Oh. I just found like a meme that popped out saying mimic reproduction. So my boyfriend just turned to me and says, I think I figured out how mimics reproduce. They pretend to be chests filled with gold coins, but sometimes they let people take the coins because each one is a baby mimic, and that's how they spread. And reader, I don't know what to say.
I was playing a homebrew with my friend Sadie, and she made a candy shop, and all the fucking candies were tiny mimics. Like in the jars.
No.
Yeah.
See, I remember back in older editions of D&D when it was all about screwing over your players and taking gold away from them. They actually had one for a dragon horde. It was gold coin that actually when it got into your pocket or your purse or whatnot and it warmed up, it actually was like a beetle from the Mummy.
Oh, no.
And the beetles eat gold. And they do that beetle come out of hibernation and eat gold in your purse.
See, this just reinforces that I give the money to Kip. I'm like, here, hold that.
And then I just found a picture where there's a sign next to the mimic, and it says, totally not a mimic. Oh, yeah, they've got somebody homebrewed a new thing called Mock. Apparently on a site called Heavy DM Breathing. Apparently they made a fan fiction book called The Book of Mimics. By Mage Hand Press. So there's a mock, which is a tiny coin that has teeth across it and legs. Yep, little scorpion-looking legs.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
This mimic can use this action to polymorph into an object or back into its true amorphic form. It can only take appearance of tiny object and prefers the form of gold coins and jewels. The worst part is it's still adhesive, so the mimic adheres to anything it touches. You know, talk about caught red-handed.
Do you see the one that's the ring? It's the baby mimic that's a ring.
No, let me back out of this one.
Called the ring of the mimic.
Oh, yeah.
I just found a cheese elemental. A ring of cheese, a wheel of cheese that's a mimic. Or that's a elemental.
Mimics. They're so stupid. They're so scary.
And you know, I rarely if ever throw a mimic into a game, but when you have a redneck place full of rednecks, you got to.
It's the Flintstones garbage disposal mimic.
Apparently, I just found a Pinterest page for D&D cat stuff. They've got Greymilk, the Charmed Stray, and the Unlucky Cat.
There's that Kickstarter that was Dungeon and Doggos, and there's a cat version of that too now.
Nice. I'm still on the fence of, there's Evil Cake. I'm like, why?
I back the Ali Tarot. I'm excited for Kevin. Oh, I have a bunch of AliExpress stuff that came in. I'm just gonna open that.
Ooh, it just ran into an ugly one. The Gauntlet Mimic. It looks like an armored gauntlet, but the mouth is where your hand would go in.
Oh.
Each time you use the adhesive feature, the gauntlet snaps 2 hit points from its creator. Ooh, there's the Cloak Mimic, but is tamed. So the living cloak wants to avoid getting hit as much as the wearer. While wearing this cloak, it pushes and pulls you out of harm's way, granting +2 AC, and its inherent immunities grant you resistance to acid.
So you're just Doctor Strange.
Yep, and the cloak totally looks like Doctor Strange's cloak, except it's got teeth rimming the inside and a couple eyeballs popped out. Clingy. While attuned to the cloak, it requires a DC 18 strength check to remove it, and the cloak will do anything it can to reattach itself unless restrained.
Huh.
Oh, and then there's an evil version of that, which is the Cloak of the Mimic. While you wear this cloak, you can pull its hood over your head and disguise yourself as any object matching your size, giving you advantage on stealth checks. Pulling the hood up requires an action. Dropping the disguise requires no action at all. To discern that you are disguised, a creature must succeed on an intelligence investigation check against your stealth check. In addition, the cloak grants you resistance to acid damage, as well as prehensile tongue. Using your action, you can use the cloak's tongue to perform a grapple check on one creature within 5 feet. It looks like a ratty leather cloak, except the backside has eyes and a tongue and mouth sticking out of it.
That's
sort of
awesome.
like Spawn, or not Spawn, but Venom. Fangs of the Mimic.
That's what I was thinking of when you were the prehensile tongue. It's like, oh, like Venom.
I'm gonna eat your brains. Using your bonus action, you can use the cloak's teeth to bite another creature within 5 feet for 1d8 piercing damage. And Belly of the Beast. Using your action, you can feed the cloak a myriad of objects. Non-magical objects are destroyed, but magical objects can be regurgitated. Does that mean it becomes a pseudo bag of holding?
Unless it decides to swallow them, I guess, yeah.
So AJ is running this, DMing this game for the kids that starts on Saturday, and he let Leah have this pet, and it's Jim has seen it. It's horrible. It looks
awesome.
like a rabbit with owl wings and antlers, and it's little, and it has fangs, and it befriends the kid and kills their family. Okay.
No.
And it will drink blood and become up to 3 feet tall.
Is it a wolf tinger?
It looks just like one.
Yes, that's what it is. Yes. So this is her pet. She's allowed to keep this thing, and he'll let it drink blood as long as it's not human blood. So she has come up with a plan, because she's a druid. She has come up with a plan where she'll say battle. I can't remember if she says battle stations or battle mode, but it'll crawl onto her back and stick its head right here, and it'll flap its wings to look really terrifying, or she'll tell it to go to sleep and it'll wrap up on her head and try to look like a hat.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then he said she could ride it if it got to be 3 feet tall, because she's only a little forest gnome. I'm like, I'm going to need you to quit telling her yes to all this stuff, because she got upset because she couldn't, she wanted to take shape water, and she wanted to bloodbend. Or to basically waterboard somebody or freeze their head in water and kill them. And that got a no-ish. So she was like, well, then I don't want that spell. Then she wanted to do something else.
I mean, if it's supposed to be a kiddo's game, that might be a little dark.
I know. I looked at my kid like, what is wrong with you?
You have raised her right.
She won't even watch like The Princess and the Frog because it's too scary. But she's over here trying to like make ice picks to kill people. That was bananas too. Between this thing and then the wanting to bloodbend and then something else with entangle. And anyway, so this thing can dig 10 feet in the ground. And so he's like, yeah, you could burrow a hole and sleep in it. I'm like, oh my gosh, why do you keep telling my kid yes? Like I tried to tell you, you need to not tell her yes. She's going to keep coming out with bananas. Then he was like, she's like, can I ride a unicorn? And he's like, well, if you find one and they'll let you. And I was like, oh my gosh, now she's going to be doing is down in this cave.
Years from now, 300-400 years old, she's got her own dungeon dug by her minion, trapping all the unicorns that won't let her ride them.
Yes. She's
just Red Bull now.
I'm telling you, man. There's something else she did too. The spells she picked, she's like, well, can I build a hut with entangled? I'm like, no. What are you doing over there? Well, can I like string somebody up with it and then do? And I was like, oh my gosh, stop talking to me. You're too dark. You're gonna scare these poor kids.
This is when you tell her to look at the spell Vine Whip, which is one of my favorite druid spells.
She looked at Thorn Whip.
Thorn Whip, sorry, that's the one.
Yes, but she decided because it pulls something to you, and she's awfully squishy.
But see, the spell is within 60 feet. You pick a point. That's where the whip comes up and strikes something and pulls it towards it. So you can, if you're really tricky, you can actually use it to pull stuff away from you. But it cannot generate attacks of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
We might have to relook at that because I had asked, would it pull it towards her? And he was like, yes. And I was like, you let them roll, and however they rolled 4d6s. Dude, she has no hit point. She has almost maxed out. Like, I think her lowest score is like a 17, maybe a 16. Like your level 1 could like really do some damage to my level 3. Like, kind of scary.
He didn't drop the lowest dice? Or she did and she capped them all?
She got to roll. She dropped one set of numbers, but because she rolled all those like 4d6s instead of rolling a d20 or whatever, her score was so freaking high. I was
Well, you know what it just means is he wants an Iron Man D&D team that's going to be nigh unstoppable, so he can throw all kinds of scary crap at it.
Apparently, because there's also like 7 kids in this group.
Oh, that's going to be a big group. That's going to be herding cats.
Don't look at me. My kid already knows what she's doing. She has a plan. I read her like the little intro thing about the background, why she's there, what she's trying to do, because they're doing like the something of Fandrin, the mines of... Oh,
Lost Mines of Delvin?
Yes, there you go. And I was like, you have to know one of these brothers, and why do you know the brother? And she has a whole backstory, and like she has a sibling that died, and she's this and that, and yeah, so. Yep, that's a mess she'd be trying to do too.
That sounds so amazing. We're playing Pathfinder on Tuesdays. We're doing Curse of the Crimson Thrones, and one of the parts is that the city is like an upheaval, and it wakes up the sewer monsters. So an Ottug popped up through the street, and because they have an intelligence of 5, and they're not considered vermin, we actually diploed it. So now it's gonna because 2 different people got nat 20s on their Diplo rolls to talk this thing into going into this meat shop that's like a front for the mafia. So we told him he can eat all the meaty ones. So he's on his way to the meat shop right now.
You've treated him like that guy from Goonies.
Yeah.
Here's a candy bar.
We taught him like the "Where's Francis," but we're having him scream like "Where's Vorchek?" like the the mafia boss that we're going in for. So that will be next week. We get to let loose a giant sewer monster in a meat shop and see what happens.
Sure, it'll go great. Sure, it'll just yeah.
As there's going to be the Wizards Guild's going to be running behind and say, "Everybody, cast prestidigitation to clean the sewer monster."
He's our buddy. They're hired by the castle to clean the sewers out.
I'm not sure if that's what they meant by it.
Joss would not be having that. She'd be like, "Oh, I'll have to back up a little bit and let you handle that one, Twigsy."
Your giant sewer monster is ripe.
120 feet in the air. I'll see you in a minute.
He's cute. We've got like tentacle eyeballs and all kinds of cool stuff.
And if anyone was interested, on the Morpheus Entertainment site, they've got the new Vampire the Masquerade PDF bundle on sale for $43.
I want to play Vampire.
I checked out some PDFs of the new 5th edition, and it's actually pretty good compared to the Requiem one. I hated that one. In that version of Vampire, you play modern-day vampires, but the problem is they changed the rules so that every time you see a higher-level vampire, you do whatever it says, unless you're a Brujah, and then you start a fight and you get killed. That's made it harder for people to really...
Could you, just kind of, walk around like this all the time?
Your internal vampire demon senses their vampire self, and it immediately makes Kowtow, which sucks because some of the best... I mean, the game was written in the 80s, so it was all about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. The man. I mean, there's a reason why the groups of vampires you normally played were called anarchs. You know, you're about breaking the system. Screw the masquerade that you can't show people you're a vampire. But you don't want to go as bad as being basically the death metal band vampire of Europe. You know, we take you, hit you in the head with a shovel, and bury you alive, and the vampires that crawl out of the hole are the ones that get to join the gang.
That sounds cool.
I feel like I watched this. There was it wasn't Critical Role, but there was another group.
The new version came out, and there's a lot of online groups that are playing it.
I watched it, but yeah, there were different types of vampires and different clans that you played as, and yeah.
Yep, that's the one. You know, you can have the Toreador, the pretty things, the Ventru, which are all about creating things. My favorite, the basically a bunch of wizards that ate vampires, so they got vampirism. And to do it. Back in the old versions, they were wanting to make fire and all ridiculously fear. So there's better than putting your hand on fire for your fingers, and all of a sudden, all the vampires in the room start stepping away from you. Because the way the magic works, as long as it's on your hand with you, because you're doing that whole Constantine trick, it doesn't hurt you because it's not there yet. The second you light the curtains on fire, you better run because that shit's real.
That's cool.
So you can do, annoying things as a player to piss off your competition. Your liquor, yes. Light fire underneath it. Sure, shoot.
But that's a whole new level of the I'm not touching you. How fun is that?
Look at the fire. It's not you. And of course, it looks like they've added some more characteristics to your character to make them a lot more from each other, which is kind of cool. One of the things that come up in your character is how do you normally hunt and feed? It's kind of is you narrate how you fed today, type of deal. You roll some dice and see if you did good or did bad. So you can have different vampires that certain ways. Some only do animals, some refuse to do animals, some only drink from blood bags. And of course, there's good and bad bugs you get for each.
when I worked there, they keep all the donation bags. They process the blood, and they sell it out there by the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And someone had dropped a crate of blood, and the forklift ran it over. So there's
God, bloody mess.
To get back. And it was just when that people were doing like this giant puddle of blood in the back with little bloody tire prints. They ran over like 5 or 6 blood, or like the
damn.
The like 5 or 6 blood bags exploded. It was great.
Somebody needs to go up to the sign of days between accident and put a bloody 0.
Bro.
Just a handprint. A smear.
Go out.
But that was cool. And if you get to play with the blood bags, but like everybody's blood is a different color, so just to see, like some people's is super bright crimson, and then it goes into like the blue or darker reds, like the purplish, and like the blood bags are different colors. It's crazy.
That is one of the cool things with the human body. It's like this person must have had lots of iron because look how dark it is.
Yeah, but just like none of the blood's the same color. It was fascinating. But it's free life vampires.
Hey.
Red Cross.
And they'll probably be calling you shortly saying, "Can you please donate?"
I do directions to hospitals because the markup on blood bags, like it's like $32 for the time and the maintenance and the materials, and then they sell it to hospitals for $500. So, or you can just donate directly to hospitals, and then they keep all of the profit.
Yep, and that's going directly to helping somebody as opposed to sitting around for a while.
Yep. So if I donate directly, or I get money for plasma.
There you go.
But I will not donate to the Red Cross.
See, donating blood I've done for at work and stuff, and it's cool, but the plasma kind of creeps me out that they're taking it. No. Once it leaves, you keep it.
You keep it.
I don't want it back.
I know you separate the platelets and all, and you keep the meat and potatoes, and I get the juice, but no. It's left the body. Keep it.
No. They keep the juice. You get all the other parts.
It's like
the juice.
I don't know how clean your system is. You can just keep it.
They're giving you the chunks back.
I remember once when I did blood donation at work, they brought in like 40 of the reclining chairs, and I'm sitting squeezing the thing. I'm about almost full bag, and I'm like feeling kind of lightheaded. And she's like, "Oh, you're the first one here. I should have put the footrest up." And she's lifting the footrest up. I'm like, "Okay, that's a little better." Of course, we joked that day at work. That was back when I was working at Sears back in the RMT. That we ended up having like 30 people go home not feeling well. And of course, I was joking with 2 of my coworkers. I'm like, "Do not go home. Go sit in the cafeteria, cookie." Because the last thing you need to be doing is driving. If you're not able to work, you should not be getting behind.
Stairs, you're on the clock.
Yep. You're. Yeah, that's
like I've donated a solid I think I'm at the 4 or 5 gallon Red Cross. But I've donated enough that I know how my arm are, and in the crook of my elbow, they don't run straight up and down; they're crooked. So anytime I go to donate blood, I have to get a blood draw, medically, I tell them hey, you can't put the needle in straight, or you're going to perforate my vein. You have to pull. So then they are acting like I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm like, no. Go get somebody, go get whoever is the best, because you're not doing my blood. And then they're like, yeah, she's right. I'm like, I know I'm right. Thank you.
It's my body. I've been speared a few times. Check.
I've donated a lot of blood. But it's just funny because they're like, what do you mean it's not straight? I'm like, it's not straight in my arms.
It has.
Oh my god! I found a string of fairy lights. That's little bumblebees.
Aw.
Hey, you guys, I'm gonna call it a night, so that way I'm not exhausted at work tomorrow, because it's almost midnight my time.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Night, y'all. See y'all
Bye.
later.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. All right. I guess I'll list my stuff on eBay. Be productive.
Find some new stuff.
No, I have stuff to sell.
Oh. Spring cleaning a little late?
No, reseller.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm gonna flip it. Well, because my see grandma's fault. I blame her.
It's the family business.
Mm-hmm.
And if need be, you can come repave my driveway for only $200.
We don't do that.
Hey, I haven't
We get
heard
money
that.
the good old-fashioned way, like insurance fraud and burning your house down.
Oh, see, I used to joke about that because, the family had a history. My grandfather and grandmother and my dad had a history of they left Chicago, house fire, insurance. They left fire, insurance. They left Texas. That was back, in the 50s when they had that big plant explode and wiped out like 300 houses. And every time they move, it's a total loss of the house, including half the shit you'd have to move across country, and a big insurance check.
Yeah, my grandma's brother, he's dead now. He got full on smited by whatever powers, but
the universe.
he was bad. I don't know if you're still, but bad thing. Yeah, he got smited by the universe, but like he lit his house on fire one time with the kids still in it. So when the
So if everybody is free for next Wednesday, would you be free for next Wednesday for an impromptu game?
Yeah, it depends on if Nicole's going to paint my nails that day, but I can talk her into doing it on Thursday.
Okay. I know she's doing fantastic work on nails.
I know. She didn't put up the did right now, but it's pirate themed. So I've got like mermaids and like a little ship and like skeleton hand. It's really cool.
I know. I keep trying to talk Kelly into going to get acrylics because she's at the school that's not too far from us.
Yeah. Oh, I know, because I have to drive over there every other week. It's a 45-minute drive.
It's so like far. Less than 5 front door.
Oh, you suck. Tell her she's on.
Huh?
Well, the whole reason she's in nails, this is like not to just do it for a job, but she wants to do it for steampunk stuff. Like she wants to do our nails for costumes.
I mean, and if nothing else, she could always do the whole, hey, having a Wild Wild West Con special before.
Mm-hmm. Tell her if Kelly goes in and says she's her aunt, she'll get 30% off.
Okay. I know Kelly's still skittish about the going anywhere in public with COVID.
Oh, well, she loves doing pedicures. It was like the crustier the feet, the more I like doing it.
See, I cannot recommend petties to Kelly because she's had bad experience with the cuticle clipping.
Oh, yeah.
Of people who are just like too aggressive with those little scissors, and she's had her feet jacked up on like 2 different cruises. We had the girls go do mani-pedis before, so that way they feel pretty. And both times jacked up
that sucks. Yeah, Nicole is very careful of cut me or anyone she's worked on, but her instructor cut me 3 times.
Oh, damn.
But Nicole's never cut me.
See, that's the important thing. She's like, I cut you.
But yeah, totally go.
Okay.
She needs to practice.
And that's the hardest thing is finding new subjects to practice on.
Mm-hmm. But she wants to get that clientele,
Mm-hmm. That's the nice thing is once she has good clients, she has a nice rotation going.
Well, she just got approved to do the night market at Where Winco. She's going to sell nail sets.
Oh, nice.
For their August show. So she's been talking to them, and because they moved into that new the Woolly Friend location, and they have like a tattoo parlor in there. And she's like, "Hey, dude, nail tech in there?" And they're like,
I mean, she'd totally blend in at a tattoo shop. That's amazing.
So she's their August show. She's actually going to have a booth over there.
And once she really starts rolling with the nail tech, she could totally look into doing molds for some of those nail bedazzle stuff that she does, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you have like the little tactile things to put on.
Yeah, she's got some little tiny fishes that she hated how well they came out because she's like, this isn't gonna work, and then they came out amazing. She's like, God damn it! Like those little itty bitty silicone molds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she made some tiny little koi fish. We've bought a lot of just tacky, like the more Korean gems we can throw on something.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, give it to me all. I have a giant
bedazzle that shit.
I have a giant skull on my nail right now on top of a pirate flag. Like they're pretty tacky. I love them.
But as long as you enjoy it. And besides, if you can bedazzle it, do it.
I know, seriously. We're like, oh.
I used to dazzle her goth. If you're goth, you can bedazzle anything.
Why not bedazzle it? Sparkly. I like creepy, spooky, sparkly. My house is like a Victorian parlor. Kind of when it's clean. Not right now.
No, it looks like
I'm trying to do inventory, so I've got boxes of stuff everywhere because I'm trying to organize it like seasonally to when to list it.
And why does organizing require you to destroy and pile everything?
Look 9,000 times worse before it gets better.
I know we had to go through a bunch of costumes because Kelly needed some, and so we went through the old storage. I have to take over the living room to get to all the stuff that was neatly totes.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys do the vacuum bags for stuff?
I've got some for my stuff, but not for the costumes. It wrinkles stuff really bad, and if it's synthetic, it wrinkles it like, oh my god, bag.
Oh, because I was wondering if that would be the way to go to throw it in the tote, protect it from the elements also.
Mm-hmm. So if even worse comes to worse, it's still waterproof. But yeah, if it's natural fibers, it's fine. If it's synthetic stuff, don't.
But you can still steam it out of it, right? Or is it just a goner?
The synthetic stuff, it's basically, we've had stuff hanging up in the shower for days, in the bathroom for days to get steam during the showers. And it took actually going out and taking a regular steamer while pulling the fabric tight to get the wrinkles out.
Oh, good to know.
But if it's natural, if it's wool or cotton, no problem whatsoever.
Is there anything coming up that we can dress up for? Where were you going for costumes?
Oh, we were looking for some costumes for Kelly's birthday party. She's having a tiny birthday party for the family. They want to do a murder mystery. It's totally a LARP. LARP.
I want to do the Hunted Killer. The new one is the Blair Witch. I want to do bad.
I have not seen that one yet.
I want a Hunted Killer party. I need people to come out and do that. We'll have dinner.
Make a LARP murder mystery night.
That'd be so much fun. I would love.
Every time the lights come back on, someone else is on the floor. It's funny, at her birthday party, I'm not allowed to be a player because I know who the killer is from when she did this party many years ago.
Oh. Are you just like an NPC?
I will totally be just a random NPC walking around to everybody saying, I think person number 1 is the killer. And then go to the next person and say, I think person number 2 is the killer. And then the third person, I think you're the killer.
Are you going to be a plant? Like, do they know you know who it is?
They don't know that I know who it is. They're one of the suspects.
Oh, I wouldn't even say you're not one of the suspects. Make them think you're a suspect.
Well, they're too honest. They don't lie and all that stuff. It's like, how can you do that if you're not lying? You must misdirect them.
That sounds like fun. Do we know if we're doing Dickens this year or not?
I still have not heard anything about this year. I think 2022 is when everything is actually going to happen. Because most folks are non-committal.
Normally we're like halfway operations right now. We're starting to panic. She's like, I don't know if we're doing anything.
Yeah, I'll ask Kelly again because she saw Jocelyn yesterday. But for the most part, I think it's happening this year, which sucks.
Okay.
But I do know Tuscon is happening, by the way, if you wanted to go.
Okay.
As exciting as and Rincon is not happening this year either.
And what's the status of Wild Wild West Con with Old Tucson? Do we know anything about that?
We don't yet. They're still in the air of what's going on with Old Tucson because there's talk about it reopening already for 2022, which is good. But I don't know if they've made contact with the folks that will be running it next year.
Can we vote to have Wild Wild West Con in February? But like even in March, it's already warm, you know. Plus, March is Ren Fair, so that's like you got to pick and choose where you want your money to go to Ren Fair.
Yeah, that's one of the big ones because you have in Atlanta, there's Atlanticon happening at the end of March, and there's something happening the week before Wild West Con usually happens. So I know, like as a con, the con circuit's scheduled between like 2 other events in there, and then
get it.
Like you said, you know, Ren Fair, if we want to go, we have to hurry up and go after Wild West Con.
Yeah. Well, that's the last thing Nicole and I ever did before COVID is like we did RenCon and then the next weekend to Renaissance. And the next weekend, everything shut down from COVID. That was like the last time we went out in the universe.
I know. We were totally going to hit the Ren Fair like the last weekend, and it's like, nope, not happening.
Oh, it's too hot. It's too hot.
Yeah. Well, we were going to go as normies that, you know, last time.
You want to do a group as the King Feast, and I'll dress up.
Ooh.
Because Nicole and I were going to do an Airbnb out there, so that way we don't have to drive, the 2 hours.
Because
so we're going to Airbnb the night before function, and then it's like a 10-minute drive.
I'll check with Kelly. I know last time we were going to do it, Ed and Carrie were going to stay at their friends that are up there. They got friends like not too far away. But I can definitely check with Kelly.
We almost booked an Airbnb too. Yeah, they're like, we're not coming back this year. So we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, let's hope that 2022 is going to be the year that everything comes back to life.
I hope so. Because we're already halfway through this year and we haven't done anything.
I know. All the good stuff's already, pretty much either gone by or said they're not. Like, we've got Sabotin coming in September because they've been pushing their hotel back and back and back to see if they can confirm from the board that RingCon is not happening because, combination of hotel issues and COVID issues. And RingCon is happening in 2022. It's already booked.
The big gaming one?
Yeah, the big Tucson gaming one. And Tucson is happening. They're going to have at least an online event, but the hotel is already booked. So,
I don't think I've done Tucson.
Tucson is really low key compared to all the others, because it's mostly a lot of writers. Like half the con is novelists themselves.
Cool. I would like that one probably.
But if you ever want to just disappear and cool down in the basement at the hotel is the movie theater. And they play anime pretty much and certain movies all weekend long. So you can go down there anytime and watch a movie.
At Tucson?
At Tucson, yeah.
What? That's cool.
Like we joked the year Timothy Zahn was there from the Star Wars novels. He actually got to go down there and watch a fanfic, Mara Jade.
Oh, that's cool. Who's not canon, but we won't go into that.
Hopefully she'll be canon soon. And it was funny, the day I was wearing my Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon Jinn, depending on who's looking at me and how my hair looks, outfit, she was like, another Star Wars character, and she's like totally wanted to pose with our lightsabers and stuff. It was a good time.
You're just generic Jedi number one.
Yep. Generic Jedi with long hair. Looks like Obi-Wan, armed like Obi-Wan, but Qui-Gon Jinn hair and beard.
That's awesome.
I'm the Obi-Wan Kenobi that would have happened if it wasn't for damn Anakin.
Oh, Anakin.
Little orphan Annie. Hey, it's like I joke with folks and complain about how his character is so whiny and shit. It's like, guys, he was basically playing Luke Skywalker in the past. Hit that role on the head.
I don't. Those 3 movies should not have happened. We'll just save them there.
Yeah.
All 3. But what's funny is like those are people's first introduction. Everyone loves Jar Jar if it's their first intro into the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone else is like, no.
Because the classic Star Wars folks, the 4, 5, 6, know that droids provide your droids are funny,
yes,
people, and then we get Jar Jar Binks.
Yes,
Roger, funny.
I love the Roger Rogers.
Because half the time they were inept, and the other half of the time they were silly. So it totally works.
But I feel like that's totally like, if you're gonna make like a pseudo AI, it's gonna be just ridiculous like that.
Yeah, because think about it, you're mass producing it, and it's not like you want your army to be stupid enough to revolt and take over.
Exactly.
If I'm a paranoid banker from the Trade Federation, I'm not going to create a robot army that can take over.
Mm-hmm. Plus, you have to be cognizant of the ghost in the machine always, so you don't know what kind of personality tics they're going to have.
You never know when they're going to miss a memory wipe and start funky.
Mm-hmm. I've been listening to a podcast, and it's all about like different people that have experienced ghost in the machine type situations.
Ooh.
And this one lady has 2 different Roombas, and they both have their docking stations at different ends of the house. But like, Roomba 1 likes to dock in Roomba 2's dock, but Roomba 2 is going to dock in the other one. Like, he doesn't want to share his. But like, Roomba 1 won't go back to his own. He always like into the other guys.
Mine smells funny.
It's just, and she's like, yeah, the other one, like, if you plug him into like the other ones, he doesn't want to do it, and he'll go back to his, and he like keeps running into him to get him. But
and that's the intelligence that will become Skynet. This is my bitch.
They're gonna be petty bitches.
Only a beautiful interpretation of the faultiness of their creators.
Mm-hmm. They got a soul.
And now they're going to take over.
It's still hot. I still feel like it's like 100 degrees out.
The AC has yet to kick on because it still sees it nice and cold. Yet it's ridiculously sticky in this house.
Yeah, my front of the house is not happy.
It's hit by the sun brick wall, and it's got all the open the big glass windows.
You know what it is? I got the big insulation foam for my picture window because I have a 9-foot window in the front room.
Oh wow!
I have 2 layers of foam in there to keep the sun out. The blinds in front of my curtains.
Because it's on the east side of your house, right?
It's the west side, but it drops it like 10 degrees. It's
nice.
It's crazy how much cooler it is.
Insulation is no joke.
Mm-hmm. And then, luckily, I have my brand new AC in my house. Yay, adult stuff.
Yeah, AC went out last week.
I know. Well, Lauren's AC, my sister, her AC went out the same day. Hers went out on Monday. And luckily, like her in-laws, they all had portable AC units, so she had 3 of them running in the house, but like she had to wait 2 days for somebody to come out because it was insane.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, we use Arctic Air, and they're their word that they'll give you a discount if they're late.
Really?
On the day of at 1 o'clock, we called them, and they managed to make it out before 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, that's crazy. That's
It was funny because I went up on the roof with the guy, and I'm like, here's what I did. I changed this fuse, popped this breaker, check this. It's not the compressor. It's probably one of the main fuses up there, which those are those ridiculously expensive ones. Mm-hmm. Or one of the solenoids is out. And he's like, okay, good to know. You saved me some work.
You're
Lo and behold, one of the 2 fuses.
That you couldn't get to?
Yeah, well, you can get to them because it's a big pop-out fuse box, but they're ridiculously expensive fuses. So I'm not just going to go buy one on a lark when I know he's got them on the truck.
Oh, gotcha.
We're talking like $200 fuses.
No.
Yeah, it looks like a roll of quarters, and it's like crazy. A solid black, canvas. So I knew it had to be one of those 2, but the problem is, did something explode and blow the fuse? Is the problem. Because I'm not an HVAC tech, so when it comes to the cool circuit board stuff and the solenoids, I can't tell you crap about it. I can fix swamp coolers, not ACs.
we always had swamp coolers, and we'd have to go up and clean the spiders and do the pads every year. It was such a pain. I'm so happy I have AC in this house.
AC's way better.
And then I had my home warranty. My AC was from 1984.
Oof.
And I bought a home warranty because my aunt's husband, he owns Air Tropics up there by you guys. And he's like, yeah, just do a warranty claim and I will replace this, because he's already come out and fixed it twice. And he's like, this thing, I don't even know how it's running, honestly.
Because it was built from back in the day when compressors were meant to work forever in a day.
But so, like, they took it off my roof with a crane, and there's one strap under it. I'm like, oh my God, so like fall in my car or something, right? So they set it down in the parking lot. That thing is like the most rusty Dr. Frankenstein. Just like, how is this still working?
Just put a screw in it. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, no, it was terrifying. I was like, that was on my roof? And then so when they ordered it, they got it from Train. Train sent them the wrong size, and he's like, you know what? I'm just going to give you the bigger one because it will be cheaper and it will keep your house cooler. And I was like, awesome.
Hey, an upgrade is always a good thing.
3-ton AC on my townhouse.
It just means it cools that much more efficient.
It does, though. Like, it gets chilly in here.
As you hear the windows rattle when it fires off.
It's not that bad. It's actually really quiet. I don't know. That's not the noises in the house that I'm worried about.
It's the other knocks in the darkness that matter.
Well, then my shit goes missing, so I'm like, cut it out. Give me my keys back.
Okay, is it fairies or ghosts?
I don't know.
Do I need to leave out the butter or throw the salt?
The salt, sage or butter? What do you want? I was joking. I was going to start feeding the fairies, though. Well, and then like in gypsy families, they have what's called a house spirit, some crazy like Ukrainian name, but like they believe that your house has like a spirit to it. So like anytime you make a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, you're supposed to like leave a cup out for your house spirit. So I started doing that, and the shit stopped moving.
There's a little brownie, and he must be entertained.
Yeah, so like I started making my house a cup of tea when I make tea. So I thought that was interesting that stuff stopped moving around after I did that. But like one of the
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say one of the things that went missing was my hairbrush. And I couldn't find it, and then I go into my spare room where all my costume stuff is. So I never go in that room because it's been COVID, right? So I decided I was going to reorganize stuff, and I found my hairbrush on top of all the boxes on top of the closet, like all the way up. And it's like a bright pink brush. And I was like, how the hell did that get there? Because I know I wouldn't have like reached on my tiptoes to put that up there. But if it's like out of reach for me, no one in my family can reach it, you know?
Because shorties.
That was weird.
It's like, how the hell did it get up there?
That, and then my keys went missing. My keys went missing after the Renaissance Fair. So like I put all my costume stuff back away, and so that was in March. They were missing for 2 months, and I had to borrow someone's car because I didn't want to buy a locksmith. I was like, I'll find them. I know I will. So
the
they were in that
you pay for
room.
it, they'll be there.
You'll find them. They were in that spare room on a bookcase, like just in the middle of a shelf, perfectly there. Like, oh, here's your keys.
It's like, so we've been here the whole time, you just couldn't see us.
Well, that's something I was listening to. Do you listen to Real Ghost Stories online? One of the episodes that they were talking about is when things go missing, is it actually moved, or do they change your perception that you're not able to see it?
That whole your eyes just glazed over it without acknowledging it.
Exactly. And I wouldn't have put them in that room though, because I don't go in there.
So they were totally swiped.
Yeah, and I was like, stop fucking with my shit.
Tell me what you really want.
Yeah, I don't want to be a hedge witch, thank you. You hedgies do your job, I mean to do mine.
You say that till it comes down to it.
No, I really don't, because I grew up in a haunted house. It was awful. don't want to see anything. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to touch me. Don't be popping up in my mirrors.
There you go. Just wanting things to be normal. Where's the fun in that?
Oh, there's a creepy thing. I walks down the alley, and I'm like, I don't want to see that. But I can't do anything because it's not my property. Just,
I don't know where all those iron nails came from.
What do you mean there's salt on the sidewalk out here? Which is actually really bad for the earth itself because
it's actually salting the earth.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's how you get rid of Carthens, right?
Mm-hmm.
You beat your enemies and salt the earth.
Yeah, because then nothing will grow there. But yeah, my house is spooky, but it's what it is.
But I've lived in a worse place.
Yeah, it keeps me protected.
Just have to have Nicole do a seance there.
No, I never talked to that. That's Grandma, Gypsy Grandma. Never talk to the dead ever.
It's a good rule.
They're not welcome in my home. I mean, they can chill out, but don't interact with me.
Don't hang out.
Mm-hmm. If you want to pop up and say hi, that's cool, but don't interact with me. Oh. No, yeah, I would never do a seance in my own home.
You never know who just might answer.
I know, and there's no guarantee. And then with my luck, because I've got shit luck, who knows what it would be.
And then worse, you get the uninvited guest who sticks around.
Mm-hmm. And then you're just like, God damn it, Charles. Just unplugging your fridge in the middle of the night, or who knows.
Why is my soda flat? Who put salt in my sugar?
Switching stuff out. I don't know. My little sister, her apartment that her and my mom are, she's like 100% convinced that it's haunted in there. Because shit will just come down off of her walls. And they have the end apartment, so there's not like they have neighbors or anything. But she's like, this has been hanging up here for months. The cats are on the couch with me. Mom's on the couch with me. There's nobody in the back of my apartment, and then things just fall down. No wall.
Because Tucson's known for getting so many earthquakes.
Mm-hmm. Right? But she's like that, and they'll all be in the living room, and they'll go, one of them will go to the bathroom, and there'll be a blanket in the hallway, or things will be moved when they go back there.
That's just creepy.
Yep. I was like, no, thank you. I was like, tell it to knock it off. You gotta communicate.
You give it one nope, and then you say, okay, now knock that shit off.
Yep. You're like, ha, don't do that again.
It was cute once. Stop it. I'm willing to load the flare gun with salt.
Boom, shotguns. Let's do this. Just spray salt water throughout your place.
Give it a good salting.
Mm-hmm. You salt your windows.
I'm willing to fill the bath with Epsom salt and then walk around all crusty.
Well, that's a house blessing you can do with your mop water is bless your water. So when you clean your house, it effectively actually cleanses your house.
Mm-hmm. And it gets it clean too.
But also pine sol, because pine is one of the main cleansing with pine is like with tar water is one of the major things. So pine and lemon have a huge supernatural effect. So when you effectively mop with pine sol,
it's almost like the old traditions had a reason because it really works.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I don't mind if things are in here. Just leave me alone.
Just be keep your distance and do your thing, and I'll do my thing.
Yeah, but I mean, I legit have my TV turned so I can't see down the hallway behind me. Because I don't like jump scares. But you're gonna chill out on my cool couch or look at my things, that's fine.
But don't be creeping in dark places.
Mm-hmm. Not about that. Oh, are we doing Bisbee this year?
No. Bisbee would have happened in...
I thought Bisbee was in August.
August? So I know there's a few folks that are planning to just like random go out there and hang out, but I don't think there's any official events or anything planned. I know
Speaking of scoopies,
a couple folks were going to plan to go out there like the first or second weekend in September.
Okay. Maybe
Sadly,
make a
the
weekend.
Tucson Steampunk Society Facebook has been very quiet.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing to do, really.
It's almost like all of us steampunks got into a time machine and either jumped forward or backward to get away from this COVID crap.
We just noped out. What's Jocelyn been up to? Because with no cons, like, what is she doing for money? I worry about her. I don't really. I should talk to her. Like, how are you?
Pretty much the only thing I think she's been doing is she's starting up some more costumes, so that's a plus. She's been doing videos on her Facebook for Madame Askew. I think her current one she's working on is for hat making.
Oh, okay. I don't have time to watch any of it, but I like a thumbs up if I see it.
Yeah, sadly, she usually does her live streams right when we're gaming. So, like, our Friday night game is right during her stream, and our Tuesday night game is right during her stream.
Gotcha.
And I've been joking with her that we need to get back to doing our Wednesday night game. You know, that's the opposite week of this than this game.
Oh.
But hopefully now that everyone's been vaccinated and, you know, up to meeting in person more often, maybe that might start happening.
Okay. Do you guys normally do it at her house or?
Usually it's over at her place.
Okay.
I know one of my gaming groups over at TGG are actually willing to start gaming at the game store again.
That's awesome.
I'm like, you guys are actually willing to come down to the store?
I don't know. Tucson Mall is such a far drive. I would do Elcon, but and I hate driving, and I like driving at night is even worse for me. I don't like driving.
And of course, you decide to pick to work at night, so you have to drive at night.
Well, I get more to work at night.
True.
I get $1.
Hey, that adds up quick. That's one Uber lunch for one person.
Seriously. That adds up. Because we don't make shit, so, you know. If I had a livable wage, I could see the sun.
Only vampires get non-living wages. Mwahaha.
That's so true. Oh, it's creepy. I don't like. All right, I guess I'm gonna go. Thanks for chatting with me.
Talk to you later. I'm gonna pop off too. I'll go ahead and send out a group message to see if everybody's good with Wednesday, but I'll let you find out first before I throw it out there. Because if you can't game, we're not gonna game.
I'll just tell Nicole that I'll do it on Thursday.
Okay.
So
I know that girl time is sacred amongst friends, and nail time is even more sacred. I've been told.
I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to get her to talk about stuff.
True. It's Nicole.
She's not very communicative, so.
She communicates by look and gesture.
Yeah, and then just